Welcome to Chop Shop Motors. Today we're going to talk about a different topic in shop class. So Hot Rod Shop class today is going to talk about angle grinders and kind of what to be looking for, how you can use them, why you may want one in your toolbox or maybe even a couple. I'll show you a couple different sizes, a couple different configurations, and a few different uses for them. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll dive right in. This is one of the earliest angle grinders that I've had. I've had it for a long time, and it is a Makita. So Makita power tools, made in Japan, a good product, seem to stand the test of time. The switch on this one, I've used it so much, the switch doesn't want to stay on when you click it on. It just, you have to hold it with your thumb. That's really not a diss to the tool, because this tool has ground hundreds of pounds of steel and cut a zillion different items to build stuff for decades. A really good addition is an angle grinder of this size. So this is, I think they call this a 4-inch. It's a 100mm disc grinder and 4 inches in circumference here. It really does do a nice job in a bunch of different ways. So an angle grinder like this is great for a cutoff wheel. You can have the guard on it, not have the guard. You just got to be really careful if you're doing stuff without a guard. A grinder wheel with a guard or not a guard. So the guards look like this. So this is what the guard looks like, and you can pull it off or put it on depending on what you're doing and how you're using it. I keep it all in the box, and it is one of those go-to tools. It gets used all the time, and if you're doing stuff out in the shop, no matter how heavy your fabrication is, you're going to want an angle grinder. If you don't have one, step into that space and get one. They're all different prices. So a Makita is probably a little more spendy because the tool is just a better tool. But we'll look at some other options. All right, that is the Makita. In the angle grinder family is another tool that is just an air grinder. This is pneumatic. This is a Matco, and it uses, this has a little abrasive wheel on it, but it typically takes a 3-inch wheel that goes in, like the Makita in the background has a 4-inch. This one has a 3-inch. It does much the same thing. It's not for grinding, but it's for cutting. And if you have a compressor, which we'll look at down the road, we'll look at compressors. This is an option that is has a lot of uses. So we'll probably do a whole video on air tools, but for now, this is also on your list of cutoff wheels and cutoff grinders and angle grinders. Okay, so that is that one. If we continue to look at a few different options, we have some more inexpensive options. So this is an angle grinder. It has a grinding disc on it. It is a Black & Decker. At one point, Black & Decker was a really good name in power tools. It's just a Chinese grinder with their name stuck on it. It doesn't have any real quality to it. It's cheap, disposable. This is a great place to start to see if you even want to get an angle grinder. Try one of these. They'll work fine for a while. That is a solution. There are a ton of these very inexpensive, cheap angle grinders on the market. Up from that are a couple other angle grinders, which are a little more expensive. This is a pretty nice tool. This is a DeWalt. I have a very aggressive wire wheel on it. And what I do is I have different angle grinders for different jobs, so I don't have to constantly be changing the discs. The DeWalt uses a larger shaft, so many of the things that attachments for the DeWalt are not the same for the Makita. More reason to have one that is more specific to different things. So I have this one that's typically the abrasive wheel. I use the cutoff wheel on the Makita an awful lot. And then I have another one that is a little bit nicer. It's a Milwaukee. Milwaukee seems to have kept the quality up. It's a Milwaukee, and I have a flapper disc, sanding disc on it. I like the flapper disc a little better than the hard abrasive wheel, although I have a hard abrasive wheel on this one. It works good for roughing stuff in. But for more finish work, this flapper disc is so nice. These are available a couple different places. If you have a wheel and you've been using a hard abrasive disc on it, try one of these flapper discs, and I'm confident you'll like it. It doesn't work. It's not great for everything, but boy, I use it all the time. Okay, so we've looked at a few different grades and manufacturers. We've got a Milwaukee, pretty decent. We've got the DeWalt, I like it, kind of in the background. Although the cord didn't last very long, but that's kind of funny. I mean, I've had it for a while, but it looks like I've had it for 200 years, which I have not. So we've got the DeWalt and the Milwaukee, both pretty good. As I said, you really can't go wrong with the Makita. This Black & Decker is super cheap. I'm sure I didn't spend more than $15 on that. New. And then the last piece I'll show you, well no, the second to last piece is an Eastwood product. So Eastwood makes lots of specialty items for car restoration, and their little niche is pretty cool in that they have stuff that is super usable, and you are like, wow, that's awesome, I need one of those. So this fell into that. So this is a finger sander. It's built on an angle grinder. They sell it as a package, Eastwood does. It was a little spendy. I don't actually remember how much, but a little spendy, but it has a very specific purpose. Because of the nose on this, it has a small belt sander that goes on it, and you can adjust where this angle, see how that angle is adjustable? You can adjust the angle, and you can get in to do grinding on welds that you made and different things that you just cannot get to with an angle grinder. I have only had this for a few years. It is a great tool. You do not use it all the time. It's one of those tools that you love it, that you bought it. Once you get in the pinch and you need to get inside somewhere and do a little finish work. A really cool tool, Eastwood. You know, I don't even know what kind of angle grinder it's on. It actually is branded Eastwood. Guarantee they didn't actually make any of it. And they just had somebody in China make it for them. And that is a cool, it's a cool solution to getting into hard places. Okay, I've shown you all of the 4-inch, basically 4-inch. I showed you a smaller one with the pneumatic, the Matco air cutoff wheel. The last one I'm going to show you is a little bit bigger. So this is a 9-inch. This is a 9-inch angle grinder. They call this a sander grinder. This particular one is from Sears. back when Sears was actually a company that made stuff or had stuff made for them. This is a tool as you get a little farther down the road or you're playing out in the shop a bit more. This is an awesome tool to have. It allows you to cut things up to like frame rail size that you just really can't do with a cutoff wheel and a 3-inch grinder. This has good horsepower, good torque. It really does help you make short work of that big cutoff stuff. If you had some 2-inch angle and you didn't have a chop saw and you wanted to cut it, this baby will do it for you, and it'll make it a quick job. So to sum it up, you've got a big one like this, a 9-inch, a really great tool. Might not fit in your toolbox quite yet, but keep it on the list. You've got a lot of options in the 4-inch angle grinder. If you don't have one, I would explore it. If you have the money, buy a good one. They pay dividends. But if you're just kind of trying to get by, get one of the cheaper ones. Maybe get 2 of the cheaper ones and put a sanding disc on one or a flapper disc and then a wire wheel on the other. You'll be surprised how often you use it. I'm Clay for Chop Shop Motors, and we'll see you on the next project.